Hello, and welcome to the FM Podcast. I'm Jen Fritz, and I run Fritz Media, a music publicity and digital marketing firm located in Vancouver, Canada. And this is episode number 9 of the podcast. So the theme of this week's show is artist management, and I'm going to talk to Savannah Wellman from Tiny Kingdom Music. Savannah runs Tiny Kingdom with her business partner and best friend, Meagan Davidson. And their company not only manages musicians, but they also do grant writing. And they recently started their own record label, which just released Boxes, the killer collab from UK artist IAMTHELIVING and Vancouver musician Teon Gibbs. Savannah's experiences in the music industry have seen her on both sides of the curtain. Her journey includes a degree in music, followed by years of performing and touring in various projects as a musician. And she continued at Music BC, where she was the project manager for artist development initiatives, including the Peak Performance Project. Savannah and I had a great chat about what it's like to be managing artists right now and how her business has been affected by the COVID pandemic and what it was like starting a record label right at the beginning of the pandemic. And I hope you'll enjoy our talk. Here's my conversation with Savannah Wellman. Hello, Savannah. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So you and I, we've known each other for a while. I think since you started working at Music BC, and we even shared office space for a while. Very exciting. So how exactly did you get your start in the music industry?
Well, I started as a musician first. I was writing songs as a little kid and always loved performing. And I took it to a desire to want to study further and went to music school and started my own bands. And basically, I just kind of reached a point where I was obviously working in addition to pursuing a musical career. And I thought to myself, I might as well be working a job that still advances my knowledge and understanding of the industry. And so, I just started working the door at a local music venue, volunteering at festivals, and throughout those various avenues, I came across Music BC, which is a music industry association. And I think I started out volunteering with them, and then I ended up getting a job there and kind of went through the ranks of starting as the front desk administrator, right up to the project coordinator, and manager, after about 8 years. And throughout that whole process, I was still making music and releasing my own albums as an artist, but I just kind of was building more of a passion for the industry side of things and really helping other musicians do what they love doing and taking it seriously as a business. And so when my time at Music BC came to an end, my best friend and I decided to start our own company, and that was Tiny Kingdom Music, which is now we've been doing full time for, we're into our 4th year now.
Wow.
And I don't really make music so much myself anymore on a professional release level, but will never say that it's officially over. You never know when the inspiration might strike again.
No, that's right. Yeah, actually, I was trying to remember when you and your business partner, Meagan, when you started running it, I was like, how long have they been doing that? It feels like it's been a while. So 4 years. And today we're going to talk about the artist management side of your business, but first, what can you tell us about the other services that your company provides? Give us the overview of Tiny Kingdom, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. We started with the primary goal of being artist management, but because the artists we are working with are still in the emerging stages of their career, there's not necessarily a lot of revenue to be generated there. So we realized we would need to provide some other kind of services that we could charge for so that we could, make some revenue and earn a living, or at least close to.
Yeah, I mean, you got to try.
And so some of those included things that we just already had strength and experience in, such as grant writing and consulting with emerging artists, some event planning and curation, basically whatever we could kind of get our hands into, where we felt we had some experience and something to offer. And so since then, we've played around with a few of those different services and continue to offer many of them. And we also last year decided to expand into a record label.
Woo-hoo!
So that's been the newest undertaking. And it's been a challenge, but it's been very exciting and a really fun kind of possibility for growth. And
yeah, that is exciting. Although I imagine you didn't foresee COVID happening when you decided to launch that record label.
Yeah, it was kind of a tough choice. We had all of the pieces in motion, of course, as everybody did, for the big plans. And then that happened, and we did decide to go ahead with it regardless. Our first release was already scheduled. The artist that we were kind of launching the label with already had her album done, so there was nothing held up on that end because of the pandemic, aside from obviously touring plans and things. But because we had it ready to go and we had all these plans, we figured, why wait? What are we waiting for? Like, let's just have something to do for the next, foreseeable future, and let's push ahead with it. And we're really glad that we did, because it really has provided us with the most, just activity. Like there hasn't been too much else to do. So it's been given us, it's actually giving us something to do. And like I say, things to learn and experience. So,
well, that's great.
We pushed through.
Yeah. I can imagine that must have been not a great day when you realized, it was for all of us, Savannah.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
So artist management is a part of the industry that I think most musicians don't fully understand. It's also something that's evolved over the years. Like what a manager was responsible for in 2010 is probably not the same as it is now, like in 2021. What does artist management entail for your company? Like, what do you look after for your artists? Not like specifically, but what sorts of things do you do?
Yeah. It is. These days, it's really quite a range.
Yeah, I imagine.
You're kind of wearing all the hats. There's the behind the scenes, just kind of administrative stuff. So, we're taking care of making sure all of their, performing rights registrations are up to date, and making sure, all of the contracts that they may come in contact with are fair. And, we advise if they should seek legal counsel, or we're building up their teams. So, if they're looking for an agent, we're helping build those connections and introductions. And we're usually developing a lot of the marketing strategy, whether or not they have a label.
And they usually don't these days. Like that's just the nature of the business, right?
Yeah. We definitely have a mixture of situations within the artists that we manage. A lot of them do have independent Canadian labels, which has been another, learning experience.
Working with your label,
Yeah, and like these days, a lot of what we're doing is just like, we're almost pseudo counselors and like just go to ears and shoulders to cry on sometimes, and just like motivators. It's been obviously a really hard year for everyone, and we've just been trying to be there for them, keeping them motivated, not providing any like pressure to get things done if they're just not in the headspace for it, because I don't think forced creativity really results in anything great at the end of the day. So there's a lot of roles that we play for sure.
Yeah. I do think that's the other managers that I do know, they've talked a lot about, having to deal with the mental health of their artists this year. I think all of us have been dealing with that, and it is very difficult to try to keep yourself motivated, to try to keep yourself in a creative space, especially when you can't even really build a plan, right? Like it's hard to be like, okay, the album's coming out, this is when the tour dates are happening, this is what we're doing. That must be so difficult. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I think for artists not having a purpose almost, I think they're feeling that lack of purpose when they don't have something to do every day that they're working towards. I think that can be really challenging. So, for those that are kind of looking for that, we're trying to come up with some, things they can work on and accomplish that maybe they wouldn't usually have the time for. Maybe that's taking care of some of their own administrative stuff, or getting their taxes in order if they haven't done them in a couple years. Or maybe it's other just fun, creative things like making mood boards boards, you know, for the kind of things that inspire them visually, or just trying to put together pieces of inspiration for whatever they might create next. Just like things that they can do to still feel like they're working towards something, even though there isn't an obvious
there's no
show date.
We don't
or
know what's going on.
know?
Yeah, that is. I think that's difficult for everyone. I can't even imagine what that would be like for an artist. It would just be awful. Now, you mentioned that you started in the music industry because you are a musician. How do you feel like that informs how you work with artists?
I really do feel like it gives me a different layer of understanding of where they're coming from, just like especially when it maybe comes to artistic choices or them trying to find their voice or trying to find the right people to work with. I think that I can just be kind of extra sensitive to some of their concerns or needs in that sense. And, you know, only recently have I actually been crediting myself with the fact that like I really could and should be even giving more like actual musical advice, you know, especially with the label happening now from like an A&R kind of perspective where like, you know, if I think a song could really use this or that, or, you know, like maybe this melody would be like that much better if it just did this. I've never really spoken up about that kind of stuff with my artists before because I didn't want to like step on their toes, but I'm finally kind of giving myself credit.
Good.
That like that insight is valid and could be helpful, and like, you know, absolutely no offense if they don't want to take it, but it's at least worth vocalizing. And the fact that that's actually been a challenge for me to credit myself with is it's kind of exciting to be allowing myself to speak up on that perspective, because it's like that is a bonus that other, you know, managers might not have to be able to contribute. So that's why should I be denying my artists any skill that I might have, right?
No, totally. And you're just offering advice. Like in those sorts of situations, it's just like, you can take this or leave this. Like,
absolutely.
You know, it's really hard when you're talking about art, because it's like, I created this and you're going to come in and say, this is what I think.
Oh, and it's so subjective.
It's so subjective. It's really hard. Anytime I have to have a conversation with like that, there's like a billion disclaimers in front of like what I start to say, because I don't want to offend, and I don't like, it's just, it is really hard. And as we know, artists are very sensitive, not all, but most of them. So yeah, it is.
Well, yeah, your creation is like your baby, and it's really hard to separate it from like a personal feeling. Like it's so really hard.
Yeah, I know. I mean, even just dealing with what I do. So the artists that I work with on the publicity side of things, like if they get a bad review or a bad piece of feedback, just like having to navigate that with them and make them understand like that's just one person's opinion. It doesn't define your entire career. You know, it's so hard.
Yeah, it's easier said than done.
No, it is. And I totally understand that would suck. And that is a part of, you know, being an artist that would probably be horrible, because once you put it in the world, you just have to be okay with the fact that not everyone's going to like it. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I think like just building a rapport of trust with your artists, from whichever team role you're playing, helps kind of soften that. You know, if they know that you're saying things from a loving perspective and an educated perspective, they respect you and they know you're not trying to hurt them, you're trying to help them, then I think that opens the door for kind of more honest give and take, but it's still never easy.
No, it's not. It comes back to where you said you act as a therapist for your artists. I feel like that's that's kind of what that role is right there. Mm-hmm. So I get this question a lot, and I'm sure you do too, and I'm sure you got it a lot when you worked at Music BC for sure. But like, what advice would you give to an artist who's like, I need a manager, how do I get one?
Yeah, that is the classic question. And The classic answer is when you need one. I've heard that said a million times at panels, but there is, unfortunately, as annoying as it is, there is a lot of truth to that. And usually what, people mean when they give that response is like, we are here to add to what you're already doing. We're not here to replace work that the artist should be doing. And by that, I mean, an artist can't kind of like expect a manager to fly in and just create every opportunity to be the only one seeking out connections or new fans or just like telling them what to do to become famous.
Yeah.
We're here to like add and support what you're already doing. So the more active an artist is in essentially like every facet of their career that they know how to be, at least, like the more there is for us to come in and work with. And it's like giving like a push to like an already running start. Like you're going to be able to go a lot faster than if we're just trying to like,
Yeah.
And, you always have to keep in mind, of course, that a manager is only making a small percentage of what the artist is making. And so if there's no revenues yet, you're really asking somebody to believe and commit to you. And that is a big ask and a big commitment. So a lot of the times I recommend, starting with just trying to build the relationship. You don't meet somebody on a first date and propose marriage.
Right.
Like you get to know each other. Maybe there's other ways you can work together, like even in just like on a consulting basis at first, or for us, because we do so much grant writing, that's often the way we meet new artists. We just start working with them through grant writing. And then that's how almost all of our connections have started. Honestly, we started out writing grants for somebody. We get them a grant. They get the money to make a new album. We love the new album and we say, hey, like we'd love to release this on our label because you've been great to work with. Your music is great. We've got this rapport. We get along and we think you're awesome and let's do this. So that's going to be a way more natural and I think sustainable relationship than if you're kind of just like, cold calling somebody to be your manager.
That's never going to work.
And like, no, I mean, it's good to introduce your stuff. I'm not saying never email somebody that you don't know. It's just to like, make sure you manage your expectations and like, make sure that's clear in the email. Like ask for something specific, like just a quick consultation call or, whatever.
Yeah, no, 0% of nothing is, what is it? 10% of nothing is still nothing. Heard that on every panel too.
Yeah. And I mean, you very well might find somebody that completely believes in your project and is willing to make that commitment. Yeah. Even though they know that they might not make anything right away. We all know that. We all know it's a bit of a gamble, but we get on board because we really believe in the project.
Yeah.
And so there very well might be somebody out there that believes in you and your music. You just got to kind of keep trying and building those relationships and finding the right.
Yeah. Fit. And as I said, that 10% of nothing is still nothing. I wondered, like, what is like, I'm not asking you to say what your percentages are, but what is like, is there an industry standard or I would imagine that each artist management deal is probably completely different in every way.
It could be, but like, I would say the standard is between 15 and 20%. Yeah. I don't think more than that is often too fair, or like you should ask some big questions about why they're getting more than 20% if they are. But yeah, that's pretty average. These days it's true. There's all kinds of new agreements, just because the music world is constantly changing and the sources of revenue are
constantly changing,
forever moving and unpredictable. So if a company is, creating some new, revenue model, it's worth looking into. I'm not saying, just shun it instantly, but like make sure, there's somebody who understands the nitty gritty that can maybe like look over that contract and make sure it's fair for.
Oh yeah. Always talk to
artist.
someone. I mean, the road is paved with artists that got screwed on their contracts.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that's just one of the things is one of just kind of the pillars of our company, is just wanting to do everything that's really fair for the artists, really transparent, and make sure everybody understands what they're agreeing to. You know, we make contracts even just for like grant writing, just so it's super clear. Everybody knows what the expectations are on both sides.
Yeah, that's really important. So you mentioned you do grant writing and you have a record label, and then, you know, you got the artist management at Tiny Kingdom. And we talked a bit about like, you know, COVID sucks, blah, blah, blah. But really, how are things affecting your business?
I would say the amount of money coming in from the management commission has decreased pretty significantly. Like, just there being no show revenue, no festivals or anything after like a year plus now, we're really seeing the effects. In the beginning, you know, sometimes payments and commissions and royalties and all these things are a bit delayed. So in the beginning, it actually wasn't too scary. Like,
money's still, coming in.
There's still some revenue coming in. Yeah. But like, we are definitely seeing by now how much that has affected our revenues from the artist management side. And that's why we're actually extra thankful that we did start the label, because ironically, it was this like a good source of money, which nobody ever expected. But we have a fantastic artist as our first release who has like a dedicated fan base, and they loved buying her physical album. And so, you know, my house has just become a shipping station, and I have shipped out like 400 vinyls, and it's amazing.
That's amazing. That must be Haley. Is that Haley?
It is Haley Blake. Yeah. So we're really like lucky and thankful that kind of all lined up and worked out that way, because, you know, not every independent really sees that kind of support, right?
Oh, well, that's good. That's good to hear. I find that most people I'm talking to in the industry now, it's kind of hitting their business now. Like, it kind of took like a year to be like, okay, what's happening? What's going on? You pivot, you try to right the ship. But now it's just like, oh, what is happening? Like, what is this going to look like in the future? Are things going to go back to normal? Do we know? You know, it's really scary. It's a scary time. That's for sure. But I'm trying to stay positive, Savannah. That's
absolutely. Like, I don't think like the normal, I mean, there's a lot of different sides to that, but like, I think once people are allowed to go out in public again and go to shows, maybe save for like a small group of people that are still really concerned, I think the majority of music lovers are going to be so enthusiastic about getting back to shows and having that experience. So I think that as soon as it's safe to do so, like, that side of things will go back to normal. You know, whether this has been an opportunity for the industry to really look at revenue models and just the fairness of certain things, whether that's, you know, streaming revenues or copyright. There's a huge review right now of the, you know, CRTC broadcasting rules and regulations, which is kind of, you know, it's complicated to explain briefly, but basically it just affects the Canadian music and content and what's played and how it's remunerated. And that's going to affect everyone. So there's the potential for some good changes to come out of that, and the time that everybody is spending right now to advocate for musicians and rights holders to
get some more money,
to get some more money. Yeah. So maybe some positive changes can come out of all of it.
Let's hope. Yeah. Let's leave that. I try to be positive about it, and I'm sure I feel much the same as you do. Is I just can't wait to go to a live show. I'm dying to go to a live show. Oh, it shook me. Like, I can fully admit that I was getting to be a little bit of that like jaded music industry person. Where Same.
Going to another show, like, really, I don't know. I don't really care. And that is just smacked right out of me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm never going to take it for granted again.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. And I think actually you and I were at the last show that we went to last year, which was the Strokes.
Yes, that's right. That was my last big concert.
Yeah, I was like, thank God I went to the Strokes. Although seeing them in that venue was not, you know, ideal, but it was a good show though.
It was still, the energy was there, and hot damn. Yeah. Can't wait to get back to it.
Totally. Okay, so now it's time. I feel like we should move on over to our fresh content segment. Now, every week on the show, we discuss our favorite piece of music content for the week, and we always like to start with the guest. So, Savannah, what do you got for us?
Yeah, well, I'd love to share our upcoming release on our label. It's a collaboration project between IAMTHELIVING and Teon Gibbs, two Vancouver artists. And they recently released a single called Distance. And the music video for this was created by a young female director named Sabine Kawaji. And she created this beautiful, cinematic, dramatic video to accompany the track, which is kind of a moody R&B track that people have said has like a UK garage throwback.
Oh yeah, that is
it.
Totally what it does. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And I just when I heard this song, I was like, this song is so damn cool. Like,
it's really good.
We gotta have it. We gotta have it. So I listen to it and it gets stuck in my head. So hopefully everybody has a listen and watches the music video and it'll just get stuck in their heads for the rest of the week too.
Yay! That is a really good one. So mine is not quite as exciting, but still very good. So I don't know if you're a listener of the What the Fuck podcast with Mark Maron, but I'm a huge fan. And he recently interviewed Serge Tankian from System of a Down, and it is an incredible interview that I would recommend everyone listen to. No big surprise, I'm not a huge System of a Down fan. I don't think that's going to surprise anyone here. Like, I get what they do. I think it's great. Just not for me. It's just not for me. But I really found the conversation to be so captivating, and hearing about all of the activist work that he's done over the years was super inspiring. So if you're looking for an inspiring, great conversation, highly recommend you give that a listen.
Always.
All right.
Always listen to podcasts on the walk.
I know. Same. It's like...
It's all there is to do these days.
Sometimes that's how I get myself to go for a run. I'll just be like, you can listen to a podcast if you go. So...
Yeah. Bargain with yourself.
Little bargains. Yeah. Or clean the house if you know, like little things like that. So thank you very much for joining us. I'm grateful that you took the time to talk to me. Is there anything else that you would like to plug before we go?
I mean, just, follow us at Tiny Kingdom. We have a pretty exciting slate of releases planned in the next year or so. Everybody's just all there has been to do is kind of write new stuff and try to get into the studio. So there's a little bit of a backlog of content that is going to come out over the next little bit, and we're really excited about it.
All right. And it's
thanks so much for having me.
tinykingdom.com, right?
tinykingdommusic.com.
tinykingdommusic.com.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye.
Well, that was good, right? I hope you like that. It was so good to catch up with Savannah, since I hardly see her these days because we can't go to any of those music networking events anymore. It kind of sucks. Thanks so much for listening to the FM podcast. If you like the show, please tell your friends and give us a rating and review in Apple Podcasts. The FM podcast is produced by Fritz Media. If you want to learn more about Fritz Media, check out our website at fritzmedia.ca. And you can follow us on Facebook, we're at Fritz Media, and on Instagram and Twitter at Fritz_media. And if you want to learn more about the podcast, go to the fmpodcast.com. The theme music for the show is provided by Vancouver band Said the Whale, and you can find them at saidthewhale.com. Okay, so we're going to go out with our Song of the Week this week, and I was going to do a song of Savannah's, but I figured since she mentioned I Am the Living and Teon Gibbs, I thought I'd do one from them instead, since it is on their record label. This one just came out last week. Here's I Am the Living and Teon Gibbs with Boxes.
Been all alone, lost at shore, but now I've got my hands on that treasure I've been searching for. Made foolish decisions, learned from my past lessons, but now my heart is an open door. Don't wake me from this kaleidoscope dream. A glowing aura captivates all of me.
control, she ain't worried about the spotlight. Gotta go to war, then she got like the front light. Hands on the city and they tell me that I'm top 5. Niggas gon' talk, I ain't worried cause I got mine. No dirty wine, but I love the motivation. When she bust down, I'm just losing concentration. Fucking with that mental, show me what you can do. Moving out of line and she got me like that stencil. Pretty light skin, but on verses I go black out. All up in my bag, but we never let the cat out. Say I talk smoke, but I'm tryna bust her back out. It took some navigation to see how this could happen, yeah.
When she enters in the room so confidently, her beauty shines through so elegantly. I couldn't really ask for more, got all that I've been hoping for. She be ticking all the right boxes off for me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ticking all the boxes for me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ticking all the boxes for me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ticking all the boxes for me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ticking all the boxes for me. 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 She's ticking all the boxes for me.
Bye. I'll see you next Tuesday.